What are common mistakes in math for beginners? Have you ever wondered why some beginners struggle with math? It often comes down to a few common mistakes that can really trip them up. Let's take a closer look at these errors and how to avoid them. First, many beginners misunderstand basic operations and properties. A classic example is the incorrect assumption that when you square a sum, you can simply square each term separately. This means thinking that the square of the sum of two variables equals the sum of their squares. In reality, the correct expansion includes an additional term. Another common mistake is in the use of square roots. Beginners might think that the square root of a sum equals the sum of the square roots. This is not true, as square roots do not distribute over addition. When working with fractions and functions, beginners sometimes make additive assumptions. For instance, the expression 1 over the sum of two variables does not equal the sum of the individual fractions. Similarly, the cosine of a sum does not equal the sum of the cosines of the individual angles. Next, errors in algebraic manipulation are frequent. One major issue is dividing by zero. This is undefined and leads to incorrect results. For example, if two variables are equal, subtracting them gives 0, making any division by that expression invalid. Another mistake involves not recognizing like terms. Beginners may combine terms that are not alike, which leads to incorrect simplifications. Additionally, when expanding binomials, forgetting to apply the distributive property or mishandling negative signs can cause errors. Order of operations is another area where beginners often stumble. Ignoring the correct sequence of operations can lead to mistakes. It is essential to follow the order of parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. Misinterpreting function notation is also a common issue. For example, treating a trigonometric function as a multiplication operation can lead to significant errors. Rushing through problems is another mistake beginners often make. Math requires time and practice to master. Skipping practice can create gaps in understanding. It is also important to check work by substituting answers back into the original equations. To avoid these pitfalls, beginners should follow a few practical tips. Always write out each step clearly and follow the order of operations carefully. Learn to apply the distributive property correctly, especially when dealing with negatives or parentheses. Understanding the difference between like terms is vital before combining them. Avoid dividing by expressions without ensuring they are not zero. When working with functions, remember they are not simple multiplications. Regular practice is key, along with reviewing mistakes to understand where errors occur. By focusing on these common mistakes and practicing with care, beginners can build a solid foundation in math and gain confidence in their problem-solving abilities.